Entertainment is about making money. That's what it's about. That's the whole fucking point. If you're in it for putting out philosophy or trying to get somebody to join your cultist religion or preach to people or tell them how they should live their lives, you totally missed the point. They made their complaints. They told Marvel and DC and IDW and all those guys, hey, you got to knock this shit off and go back to do what you did before. And their answer was basically just to throw out the middle finger and say, we'll do what we want to do. You can't stop us. What these people are all about, it's always betrayal, because even this itself is a betrayal, because just 2 months ago, these same people were saying, let's donate money to help the comic shops that we have destroyed with our shitty works that nobody wants to buy. And now here they are saying, let's support Black Lives Matter, who goes out and riots and trashes the comic shop we just got done trying to save. I think CG is more Image than Image was then. 25, 30 years ago when they came along and did that, that may have been revolutionary at the time, but they still tried to work within the mainstream itself. Whereas you guys are completely out of the mainstream. You're like on your own without any safety net, no one helping you out, no distributors, no nobody. It's all you. And that's completely different from Image. You are like the Image, the way Image wanted themselves to be. You're talking about how Marvel doesn't respect the rich history of their characters. And, in the recent wake of the death of Denny O'Neil, that's really something that's struck me recently, because I remember in 2006, there was a documentary on comics, and they spoke with Denny. And he told a story about how, the reaction he got from the man on the street after the death of Robin and a death in the family. And he was in a deli or something, and he talked to some guy, and the guy's like, hey, you work on Batman, right? And he's like, yeah, I'm the editor. And he goes, hey, guys, this is the guy that killed Robin. And then he hits you with the knowledge. And he goes, that's when I learned that when you're the editor of the Batman and Superman titles, you aren't just a comic book editor. You are the custodian of mythic lore. And that's always stuck with me ever since I heard it. And that's what I feel is lacking today in comics, from the editors, from the writers, from the artists. This whole thing you're talking about where they don't care about the rich history of their characters. And that's what it all stems from, that lack of feeling that way. Someone like, the loss of someone like Denny O'Neil to the industry is greater than we'll ever know, because we don't have that anymore. And it's really, when I look at it, what's happening in comics is a microcosm of what's happening in the world right now. You got people tearing down statues and burning down buildings and calling for defunding police. I mean, they're trying to destroy the history of the nation. And that's exactly what's happening in comics, is these people who have no investment in understanding what Denny did are now in charge, and they're destroying everything as a result for that. And so I really am feeling that a lot more nowadays. And, it's something that I think is really at the core of the problem in the comic book industry today, is people in charge who do not care about the voice, the history, the iconic status of these characters, that they're just a mouthpiece for their political bias or as a stepping stone for TV and movie deals. They don't care. And that's where I think all this stems from, is just the lack of, they don't think of themselves as the custodians of mythic lore, which is what they are.